Hello, beautifuls. Welcome. I'm excited for today. Make sure I have everything up. So let me explain what this is and what we're doing. I haven't ever really gone live for this long, or for any other intention other than to channel readings and things like that. But today is a little different. It's going to be kind of like podcast style. We're going to be having some conscious, relaxing conversations. I'm going to be bringing on my older sister, Alexis, who is going to be a part of the Becoming One course that's coming up soon. So we're going to chat in a little bit. I'm also maybe bringing on Esther as well. We have a few things we want to share with you. My partner Dylan's going to be coming in and helping me as well and having a conversation. But yeah, this is going to be a cozy time. This is meant to be kind of a cozy time to process, to release. And I'm calling it an unbraiding because I'm actually going through these braids that I did during the unfolding 13-day rose, flame, and water journey that we had recently. So I actually did these. It took me about 4 hours, I would say, and it was late, and I decided to do it late. So I'm going to be unbraiding them with intention. So each braid is going to be something that I'm releasing, an old belief that we're releasing. We're going to be talking as well, so please do engage in the chat. And and let's see how we can utilize this practice of unbraiding, of releasing, of also processing what's been going on right now. This is going to be just a cozy space. I've got a little music in the background. So if you're here, please do let me know in the chat. And we'll probably start with a little bit of a meditation, a little breathing before we pop in here. But yeah, if you are here, let me know in the chat. And I have all my things. I've got some oil I'm going to be putting in my hair and everything. Love the meaning behind the unbraiding. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes through because I have written down already in my journal a few things that I want to release. Maybe that's something that we can do as well. Letting go of old beliefs. We can do it all together. And I'm just using my hair as like symbolism here. Definitely using it as symbolism. So excited. And Dylan said this is a space I'm getting clarity on. Could help me actually co-create a more enjoyed and desired experience. Definitely. Yeah, we're going to play. It's going to be a playful time. You can pop in and out. I have a drink with me. So I'm just going to make it an experience, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you for being here. So yeah, we'll start with a little meditation throughout. I will be, reminding us to drink our water and to have snacks if we feel called, to stretch, to breathe, and all of those things, allowing it to be a mindful and intentional experience. So yeah, thank y'all for being here. And let's just take a few deep breaths. And at any point, if I'm using my phone, this is a while, and I'm also contacting those that are going to be hopping on here. So, that's what I'll be doing. Just staying in contact. So I'm going to set this here. Alrighty. And as we do this, I'm going to guide as best I can, but I really feel led to just allow us to breathe and drop into presence wherever you are, whether you're doing an activity or not. Just allowing this to be a few conscious breaths. Maybe shifting the positions of your spine or your hands. I will be setting an intention. You can do so as well, perhaps for the day, or really tuning into intention that you've already set. With this process, I intend to release old beliefs that are not serving my highest and best good, my most aligned state of being, my highest timeline. Allowing this space to be one of processing situations, moments, integration. Allowing the unbraiding and the unweaving to be of personal and collective release. Unbinding, unwinding, and weaving. And also one of rebuilding, recreating in full harmony and alignment. So let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Then relax it out the mouth. Breathing it in. And exhaling out. One more time, full breath. Hold it at the top. And exhale, relax. Feeling into a full exhale. Going back to your natural ebb and flow breath. I'm going to be starting from the back to the front. So, yeah, we're going to get started. So let me put my hair up, and then I believe we are going to start in conversation. I was also really tuning in and seeing like, okay, which braids are going to be for my personal beliefs and which are going to kind of be more collective. So I'm also going to be kind of tuning into that as I'm unbraiding. I believe there's like about 50 or so braids here. So we'll see if we get them all done on live. So I'll probably be here like 2.5 hours. We'll see. So yeah, excited. So I'm going to get my hair up. Just ground in. Start with the back. But can I hear the music? Can you guys hear the music? I want to check it. Yeah, you can. Okay. Let me know. I'm just gonna have the chat over here. I wonder if you guys can see what this looks like in the back. I wonder if it looks as fun as it feels. Just these little stragglers. Does it look funny? Because it feels funny. Like, oh, it just, that's me. Yay. I can see you guys here too. All right. Okay, I'm going deep with these beliefs too. So you may or may not resonate with the things coming up that have come up, especially I feel like within this, I want to say season, the summer season. It's been very revealing. But yeah, if anything comes up, if you have any questions whatsoever at any time, please do share it in the chat. Let us know. I did go on Instagram and ask for a few questions. So I will also be checking on those questions as well to see if there's anything specific. But yeah, we'll be chatting, me and Casey. All right, strategy. Move these up here. Okay. And so the first deepening right now into conversation is going to be with my sister. It's already here. So I'm going to have her hop on, and as I begin to unbraid this, I'm really going to just allow whatever's coming through to be released. It could be very energetic. So I invite you to really also take this time to just take deep breaths, to listen to the music, to listen to, what feels resonant to you, and to sway, to naturally allow your body to regulate itself in your process, but be a part of that process. And I think this is a beautiful thing that we can return to, is this recognition that it is a co-creation. Like, we're not just doing it alone. Our body, this energy of source, of the universe, the earth, whatever you want to call it, is a part of this as well. There's a harmony within us, and there's a harmony without us, and we're all together in that. Hi, Peter. Hello. So letting that be the reminder right here, leaving what is any disconnection or lack of coherence with our consciousness and our body. I'll be using the feather to get out any dreading at the top. That one felt good. It really hit home. There's parts of us that feel in misalignment with our body. Disconnected, not listening. Alrighties. Alrighties, let's go. And then I'm using this oil. I have a lot of left over here. Here's my hair. Here's the braids. But yeah, so I'm using this oil. I got this a little while ago. I've made this for myself as kind of an oil treatment and hydration for, let's see, I did it a few weeks ago when I put them in the first place. Then I also made a braid spray. So for anyone that, does braids, I did a braid spray, and that really helped with if I ever got itchy, because I have really sensitive skin. So I generally don't braid with any oil or gel. I don't do anything. I let it be what it is, and at the end I do a little conditioner curl cream or a little bit of oil through it as I have it. But this one in particular has rosemary. So I did rosemary and clove with jojoba oil or argan oil. I love argan oil because it's really gentle, and so is jojoba oil. So this one's rosemary and tea tree. So I'm going to use the little itty bit of it that's left in here as moisture before I wash it later tonight or in the rising, depending on how long this takes. We'll see, but energetically I can feel movement happening, so tap in if you'd like. But yeah, Alrighty, so I'm gonna bring my sister on. I'm gonna see if she's ready. Are you ready, Lexi? Give me a thumbs up. You're here. Okay, so I cannot hear you.
My whole thing just fell apart right before you brought me on. Like, everything just fell over, and it needed to fall over, and that's okay. So.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Make sure to fix your shirt. I want to make sure everything.
Oh, my button's undone.
Take your time. Get ready. So this is my older sister. She's a year older than me, and a year and a day older than me. So our birthdays are actually one day after the other, which is beautiful. Okay, that feels good. The next one. All right, give me thumbs up, Lexi, when you're ready. Yay!
Hi. I am so sorry about that. My button was undone. So I apologize to any humans that I flashed on your live with my undone button.
It's okay.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that we're able to have a conversation and share it with other people. I feel like with where we're at, we have so much to talk about. So, yeah. But I was gonna say that this live is not being monetized. So just so everyone knows, like, you're not gonna be getting ads or anything. I just thought that would be easier so that you can be a part of the whole process without worrying about like having to watch an ad or having to skip it.
Yeah.
And also, if anything is flashed, then it's not going to be demonetized because it wasn't monetized in the first place. So
that is really wonderful that you do that, though, because I know that when we have to, there's all these really beautiful videos that are on YouTube or in different parts of the internet where people are able to kind of like get these nice long videos for healing or videos for even just ambiance. When they're monetized, you have these consistent interruptions that I feel like can be really jarring and interruptive when that's the one couple hours you get for the week to disconnect. So I'm really happy to hear that you're not doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I know some lives tend to YouTube finds a way. They're like, oh, I'm putting what I want in here. So interesting. But yeah, so just for context, everyone, this is my older sister. Her name's Alexis, and you go by Lexi
yes.
a lot of the time. So I know her as Lexi. This is Lexi. And she's actually going to be a support angel for our upcoming course, Becoming One. So that's the group, very supportive shadow integration and healing course that begins October 27th. Our first call is November 8th. And if we want to show on the screen real quick how the page looks, we're like, look at this! So this is something that came to me in 2020, and I told Lexi about it, Lexi and her partner, and they were excited, I was excited, and then it just didn't pan out. And this often happens when I have creative projects come up, but I'm really excited for this one because this integrates, the mental work, the physical work, the spiritual work, the energetic work aspect of it as well. So it's a very holistic approach that I feel really grounded in, that I'm excited to share with everyone. And yeah, we're just so excited to hold space for this and to see what arises and what comes up. And we're hoping that this is something that really anchors in more self-confidence and empowerment, and allows us that ability to recognize, that this is life work. Shadow work is life work. It's ancestral work. It's healing. It's the healing work. It's the inner child work. It's all of it. So this is really bringing that home and offering a lot of different supportive avenues that you get to try out and recognize, and to also do this in a space of community healing, a community space. So really returning to that open-heartedness within the entire process. Very, very exciting. But yeah, Lexi, how are you feeling?
I am feeling, first of all, very humbled. To be completely honest with you, I'm feeling humbled at the opportunity to actually find an opportunity for us to kind of merge a little bit and be able to also just support you and co-create with you, because honestly, I feel like the concept of shadow work has been around for a couple of years more in the forefront of people's consciousness. Like, I feel like everywhere you turn, whether it's online or in your local community, you're seeing things about shadow work, and there are a lot of different interpretations of what shadow work entails, and I think getting down to the root of shadow work, sometimes it gets confused with the ego. Sometimes it gets confused as something that you want to confront. You need to confront your shadow. You need to face your shadow. Yeah. And sometimes it does maybe feel a little like that warrior energy, but I think sometimes it can stop at that. It's like, oh, this is something I need to open the door and confront, and then once I've confronted this, it'll fly away. And I know that I had that kind of approach to that, and I've come to, that's actually, I've been, I definitely deeply feel that we don't heal so much as we emerge. Because if we're always looking to heal some wound or some pain, I look to nature. And when you go into the forest and you see where a tree has been hit by lightning, or you see where a branch has broken off from a storm, you aren't consumed by that broken branch or that lightning strike. You see how the tree continues to root in, and that, I feel like, is a bit of shadow work. It's the parts of us that are always with us, and just having that love. Yeah, so it's been a spiral, really, because I feel like for a while I thought, well, okay, in 2022 I had my big shadow work moment,
like Dark Night of the Soul time. My dark, that was it. And then it's, you realize that our journeys are so spherical, and that we may return to those places just from a different perspective. And I'm excited to see what folks feel willing to bring to this space, and wanting to meet their shadow. And for me, I dance with the shadow. Sometimes we want to dance with the shadow too. Yeah.
Yes. So it's been in my mind a lot.
I'm really happy that we have this space to finally merge and share. Can you tell everyone like a little bit of what you do and like your background?
Absolutely. Yes. So my background is quite diverse. It is biodiverse, like the forest that I love so much. Most of my work for many years was primarily centered around storytelling and performing in front of people and telling stories. And that was my life from 13 years old up to basically 2 years ago, the center of my life, the center of everything I did, every choice I made, this passion, this love. And along that journey, when I was 19 years old, I found meditation, and I found questions that wanted to be answered about the way that we live in this world that doesn't feel right, and the way I was connecting to myself in ways that didn't feel authentic. And many years later, here I am now, and I have a lot of background I do a lot of psychedelic integration work with people. I am very passionate about peer support, working with people, meeting them where they are, and dismantling only seeing the clinical medical Western paradigm as the only way to foster better support or better healing or inner knowing, and seeing the places and the edges where ancestral indigenous wisdom can meet with the technology of our present. And I always want to see where those marriages can be found, because I have a huge interest in neuroscience, and I also am curious about where that meets with animism. So I work closely with harm reduction, with people that work in different psychedelic spaces and integrating trauma, whether it's veterans, whether it's cultural sensitivity, being aware of the different things that come up for people in these healing spaces, whether their backgrounds are that they're children of immigrants, whether their backgrounds are that they are children and descendants of slavery or descendants of any kind of generational trauma, and being aware and holding space very mindfully when it comes to integrating any kind of psychedelic experiences that those people have. So I work with the Fireside Project, which is a nonprofit organization that does a lot of this work. I've been working with them for about a year and a half. And I also am very interested in the intersections of play and imagination and pretend and healing our relationship to the earth. So I also am in the process of building this wonderful space and company called Strut the Yard, which is a silent disco space that aims to not only give people a space where they can dance outside of a club and under the stars and, you know, with the land, but also a place that gives back to the community. And that's something I feel very passionate about, is that our collective consciousness, the shadow of our collective consciousness is disconnect and apathy and the rejection of the imagination, the rejection of play, how play is regulated to our childhoods, and how I want to help to revive that sense of playfulness that also gives back. So we try to give at least 10% of our proceeds to mutual aid efforts locally. I am based out of North Carolina, Durham, where there is a lot of healing and shadow in this land that just really wants to be held. And I deeply believe that joy and music and dance is a huge part of the creation of the world that is being manifested into being right now. Like, we are watching it happen, you know? And so that's a little bit about me.
I love you, Lexi. If anyone's in North Carolina and you want to hop on that, it's called Strut the Yard.
Strut the Yard.
It is that movement of dance and healing through joy, and I feel that it's very transformative and very, 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 very helpful when it comes with working with the shadow.
Heck yes.
Dance and silence are such a unique coming together. Totally.
Absolutely. Totally. It's true, and I really dance in silence. I agree, because also dance in silence and the way that it invites other people in when they kind of come across it wherever we're doing that. And also I love the ability to give a space where you can go and dance and you don't have to feel like you have to dance the whole time. Because I think that when we go into these spaces where there's music and dance, like dance is ancestral. We as humans, we danced to enter a trance state. We would dance to celebrate. We would dance to commune with spirit, to commune with the land spirits. And it wasn't simply about like dolling yourself up and going to like bump and grind at the club, which has its space in the human experience. Yeah. But I'm curious about, what does it look like to, you know, show up to a space to dance, and maybe you don't dance the whole time. Maybe you sit in the grass. Maybe you take one headphone off and you talk to a friend while you watch everyone else dance, and just wanting to create a place where that can you know, pollinate and cultivate. Yeah. I've worked through some shadow stuff in some of these dance spaces, without a doubt. because there will be times where I will go to dance in some of these silent disco spaces, and 20 minutes in, I'm like, why can't I get out of my head? Why am I not getting in my body? Is this person looking at me funny because I'm dancing like this? Am I not energetic enough? And that in itself has become a shadow practice. The things that are floating to the top as there's music being played and you're in the present moment, and yet all these considerations and fears are let in to be witnessed. And that in itself becomes, honestly, without even intending to, a journey. You know, and I loved, Ari and I got to put together this really beautiful sunset silent disco on the beach. And when was that? Was that last summer?
That was
2020? Not this past summer, but the summer of 2023.
Probably 2023, maybe.
Yeah.
I know that for me, when the first time I guess that I really, hi Angela, welcome. The first time, hey girl, we see you. The first time that I really like tuned into that idea of dancing with the shadow was when I was having a really rough time with like what I could feel in my room at the time. So like I could feel like there was like something present, something there, and at some point I definitely was like externalizing it, and I think sometimes that does happen. Hi, Ashan. And it's
like when you would be in your space, you would kind of feel, feel a shift in the space that kind of would be physically picked up on.
Yes.
Like
so
you would feel the shift happen in your space. Right.
Yeah, definitely. I could feel the shift happen, and something that I've been able to do is recognize and see that sometimes our shadows can manifest, and I think that maybe this is where that term really comes from, is those that have been sensitive to recognize that like these shadows can become their own entities in a sense, and thus it's like they're almost hiding behind another mask. These parts of us that we have just been like, no, it's not mine, but they're like, no, actually, I need to.
That we've like regulated to a different space, like we have shoved so far away from even wanting to identify, or the part, the parts of you that you're like, no, not that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't.
Where that come from?
And so that energy almost. Yeah,
it's relational, and it's generational, and it's ancestral. So I feel like a lot of like the shadows, and this is why being able to do this in a group space is really important, is because a lot of the time we do have very similar shadows. They may be regulated in a different way, related to in a different way, identified. However, like collectively, we are healing through these very similar, entities that we can call them, or spirits or energies of these parts of us. So it was really interesting, because at that time when I was just experiencing it as something other than myself, I was really working with like yogic deities, and goddess Kali Ma was coming through, and I could like feel her dancing with me. It was just an entire experience that like really helped me start to see what was mine and what wasn't. And this is why I really see this as, once again, like another process to reclaim a sense of your power, because now it's not hidden and it's not in the background. It's not something that you feel is ruling you, or maybe that you're not even aware it has the joystick right now in your life, if that makes sense. So I feel like even just the awareness begins to allow us that opportunity of presence and choice within what we're moving through. And I love that you mentioned like really bringing nature and the earth and our connection there into it, because that is our community as well. The plants, the fire, the sun,
absolutely.
the lands that we're on.
necessary. And I find that, you know, it can be so abstract sometimes because we're raised in a culture that views the earth, the trees, the dirt, the bugs as shells, as a means to an end, as items, as tools, something to be extracted from, something to be used for humanity's benefit, something that is a pest, something that is either going to, you know, feed us or poison us. It's always centered around what we want from nature, right? What nature can give to us. And the idea of kind of breaking out, trying to break out of that mold, by recognizing on a relational level how alive our plant kin are, our animal kin are, and how they really want to show up for us the way that we often do want to show up for the earth. And thank you for pointing that out. Thank you so much for pointing that out.
It's
because
a huge
I think
part
that's a big part.
Yeah, it's a huge part of my process as well.
Me too. I spent 2 hours
like part of
this
my
morning.
Yeah.
Yes. This is our late cat Miracle's favorite little. He would snuggle with this little guy.
Aww.
Yeah, Miracle.
Miracle. Yeah. I'm excited because we're going to be working with rue and rosemary and lavender and some other plants to really assist us in like, the energetic fashion of and really just reconnect us in that way when it comes to the support from our plant kin and the wisdom of these herbs.
I feel that wisdom and your acknowledgement of that and is really meaningful. I just want to honor you for that, really, because there are often times where it's more of that tool, like, oh, lavender helps me feel better, I'm gonna smell some lavender. You know, it's like can be sometimes transactional, you know, whether it's lavender or rosemary, and so I just find it tickles the deepest parts of me to be reminded, like, the ways that you approach these plant spirits and these medicines as animate, because they are. You know, one of my favorite things that's helped me in some of the shadow stuff has been when I did my permaculture study at the Eco Institute. One of the best things that they had us do was literally go up to plants that we had never seen before, or trees we don't really know the name of, and just sit with them. Just sit with them and ask if we can sit with them and see if they have anything to say, and toss out the logical mind, toss out the monkey here, brain, and just, you know, connect to that deeper wisdom that our ancestors tapped into when they first started working with these medicines and plants. And that really does help when you do turn to them in the future for this work. So you're amazing.
You're amazing. The world is amazing.
We're all amazing. These plants.
And
your hair. Your hair.
You're there. You're everywhere.
How's it feeling? How's it feeling? I know you said you put the oil in.
Yeah, it feels really good. Not having a lot of like product in it. Look at this.
Oh, when it's soft. Alright, that's really shiny and healthy.
It looks really good.
No.
Yeah. Because I didn't
thriving.
Hair either. You can even see my little dandruff.
I was about to say your cute little baby hairs look so healthy.
I'm taking care of my hair, y'all.
You're like
it feels good. It feels like being able to take more time and space. I feel like last time when I braided it, I was just like braiding really quickly.
Autopilot.
But the process felt very sacred. It felt very ancestral. But this time, the braiding process, like I had some frustration come in. I was feeling, I think I was getting tired. And I was also noticing like I was hyper fixating on you know, the squares and like how much hair I was getting, and you guys will, this one's really
if they were
big.
like even, if they felt even in your hands, and is it perfect? Like, oh wait, this one's a little thinner. I got to undo both of them and yeah. And
so I was feeling that and needing to like breathe and take my time and like play music. So this is nice to like be able to just like listen and have conversation and like watch myself unbraid too. Is really satisfying.
Oh, that's true. You're like getting both of those kind of feelings.
Yeah. It feels good. It feels like what's been held within these braids in like these past few weeks is like finally being let go. I feel I've been a part of a lot of energetic shifts personally and with others, so this feels good to let that move.
Yeah, I was about to ask us that too, if you felt a sense of like any kind of that residual energy from when you braided it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Peter. Oh, you're doing it together. Okay, so Lexi, I know you had an experience today that I would love to talk a little bit about if you have the space and time. You guys know I am an advocate for talking about our menstrual cycle, talking about our moon cycle, how beautiful it is. I am, and ladies, if you know what day you're on, what day are you on in your cycle? Where are you at? What season are you?
That's the question.
That is the question, y'all. Like, where are you at? How are you feeling? How's your energy? I feel like sometimes you don't even need to write down every single day or to always track it, but like tune into your energy.
Yeah.
And being able to journal it out, you start to see your cycle. It like really
patterns.
Patterns. So I'm in my inner autumn. I'm on day 25 right now. I'm excited. It's my period is coming up so soon. I'm always so excited.
She's on its way. They're on their way.
I thought of a puppy. The watchers are preparing. Jackson's. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I remember there was a time when I wasn't excited for my bleed because it was so painful, but now I have a different relationship with my woman. Where are you at in your cycle? How are you feeling?
Well, it's so funny that you asked because I was journaling this morning in my little pine forest, and I usually when I journal, if I'm bleeding, I will write down the day. Like I'll put the date and then I'll put day 2 of bleed, day 2.5, you know, just because I'm someone, I know not everyone likes to do this when they journal, but I like to go back and read my journal entries, especially because I'm someone that's very drawn to astrology. Personally, I feel very connected to the energy of the larger cosmic energy, you know, beings. So I'm very interested in different places, you know, the patterns that kind of erupt around that. So anyway, I was actually trying to figure out what day I'm on because I started the late evening of Thursday. So I'm like, does that technically make today like 4 or 3? Either way, I'm somewhere in between. Right?
Oh, well, Thursday, if you started on Thursday, right? That would be 1. So the first day is the first day.
No, it's Friday night. My bad. It was Friday night, late Friday night.
That makes sense. Yeah, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Angela said you're on day 19. You've been tracking with your phone, but it's a bit irregular because I'm nursing my baby still. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on day, I guess I would be on day 2 or 3. But yeah, my relationship with my uterus and my womb has been very complicated. I have sexual trauma. I have, you know, I was on an IUD for 8 years, which really, you know, really did at the time when I was in New York City felt very much like something I needed. And also the relationship I was in at the time, like I was going through a really different part of my life. And then I finally last year had been feeling the call for a while, like, okay, this is not feeling really great for me anymore. It is affecting so many aspects of myself physically, pain and irregularity and hormone imbalance, and like not just a lot of things were coming up in my body that were telling me this is not supportive for you anymore. So I listened to my body, and I have always kind of struggled with my relationship to bleeding, and how messy it is, and waking up and having to clean my sheets and having to clean my underwear, and it is still the smell, and it's all over my thighs, into my butt crack. Like, I'm someone, like, I'm an open book, and it's still very taboo, to talk openly about these things. But this is an experience that every person that has a womb experiences. It's a very, very hugely commonly shared experience. And I always felt a lot of shame around how messy it is, and how, especially as a performer, is it going to get on my costumes? Is someone going to see it on my costumes? And oh my God, I got to put all the tampons and all the pads. And today was Ari. I had known for a while that she has this really beautiful practice with your cycle, with your menstrual blood. With, I believe, you have more of a free bleed process, and
sometimes,
sometimes depending on your comfortability, and just, I've been inspired by some of that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try something, and I might feel like a lot of conditioning around how disgusting it is, right? Because that's what it is. It's conditioning. And so I woke up this morning, and I had a big mess on the bed, and I was really upset, and I was like, I am gonna go to the forest. I'm gonna wear my favorite little cotton dress, and I'm gonna bring my little earthing blanket, and I'm gonna put my earthing blanket down, and I'm just gonna sit with the earth and journal and bleed. And I will clean myself up, and I will get back to my apartment. I had to kind of talk myself through every step of so much came up around it for me of this is nasty. The voice can be kind of mean. That voice can be kind of,
it's trying to bring you back into some sense of alignment. It's back to the program, back to where the neurons are naturally.
Right. Vague, looming, policing. We police ourselves, and this inner police energy of stop that, don't do that.
That's like gatekeepers.
What are you doing? That's And I had to move.
We make them more disgusted right now.
Right.
To try and keep you from that that sacred connection to this beautiful liquid, life-giving liquid.
And I'm going to be honest with you, those first 15, 20 minutes of sitting in the forest was very sensorily overwhelming for me. I'm someone that I have some sensory processing struggles. And so I was feeling the mosquitoes wanting to bite me. I was trying to put citronella oil on my body. My toes were sweating. The bees were kind of buzzing around me. And I'm I just want to be in this forest, and I just want to connect with. And I had to kind of get through that for 15 to 20 minutes. And then I just felt this that is the best way I can describe it. I just had all of this, the little voice in my head telling me, oh, you disgusting human, what are you doing? And I had to just let it flow up through me. And honestly, when I tell you today, I had one of the most clear experiences personally with the energy of that forest, with my spirit guides. I journaled out about 10 full pages, just so open and so this has been the word, humbled.
Yeah, that's the word, y'all.
And it feels very vulnerable to talk about this. It feels vulnerable to talk about it and not still have that voice that's back here, that critical conditioned patriarchal voice that is telling me, well, why are you talking about this so openly? Why are you, people that you don't know are listening to this? This is, oh my God. And it's so powerful to witness that voice. Like, okay, you're here in the room with me. And that's all you can do right now is be in the room with me. I'm not going to, you do not control my life. And that's not easy by any means, but that was kind of the experience I had today. And I reached out to Ari when we had kind of connected before this, and I was like, I did this for the first time, and it was so beautiful. I was like, all the conditioning, like it was so beautiful. And it felt, honestly, I definitely felt this sense of, I've been doing womb meditations for a while. And one of the things that has stuck with me that came up today while I was just kind of bleeding and sitting with the earth was that our womb is a portal. And you've probably already done this work, and it's something that's come up for me a lot because I do identify as non-binary femme, so I do use pronouns. I like they, them, as well as she, her. I have gone through an entire experience and spiritual journey personally to arrive at this point, and this feels very authentic to me, but it's also brought up so much in my spiritual work around the shadow and gendered work and the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Where does that lie? And our wombs, and people who do not identify necessarily as women with wombs, and their relationship to their blood, and like the questions that come up around that. And so I started trying to meditate and really connect with the energy of the womb space, the warmth and the darkness of the womb space. And what has come up so often is that this is a powerful portal of life and portal of reemergence. And every consciousness that has this portal has the sovereignty and decision of how they get to relate to this portal. So thank you for listening.
Yeah, and this goes for all beings. We all have a connection to the womb. In yoga, they call the womb space for the masculine, for the man, a hot. So, I want to always remind men within spaces as well. Like, you also have that ability to connect to the womb, whether you see it as like connecting to your mother, where you came from, or your own physical, like, energetic womb as well.
The primordial womb.
It is like, or the cosmic mother, or the earth's womb. Like, we are all connected to this space of darkness that I feel has been a point of fear and escapism within humanity in many different ways. Maybe not everywhere, but in many different ways we're seeing that. Like, we are trying to create a situation in which we can control, in which we are not fully embracing that darkness. It's always about light and wanting light, but it's like, there is no yin without the yang, there is no feminine without the masculine, and
absolutely.
So it's been interesting thinking about consciousness and the way that we've pulled away from it, and now that we're starting to see like so much more of the horrors happening, feeling so much more connected and to what's going on in the world. And I always try to remind people, I'm like, you got to remember how you think about it, because we can all do the same thing and be like, oh yeah, the world's going to shit, like everything is horrible. You can't, like, with every local politics and the presidential election coming up and all these things, like, people are almost like expecting things to fall apart. And I think, great, that's wonderful, but we get to be intentional on where that collapse is heading to, rather than it just being like, you know, people have lost their minds. Like, no, people are waking up. People are recognizing after having this space that it's time to return to these things. Yeah, returning to this connection. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have that power to shape change, because we are not the penultimate of humanity. We are consistently emerging, just like any of my little plants up here, rooting down and growing and dying and recycling. Like, we are a part of that. We are just a part of that, and we get to shape it. And, you know, that process, that part of us that goes off, this is shit, everything's so, you know, screwed up. Yes, that is a part of the process. That is a part of the process, is being in that space and feeling that, witnessing that grief of how the awareness of the corruption, the awareness of the extraction and the exploitation of our earth and of our kin across the world. Yeah. And with that comes such, for me personally, when people talk about revolution, I talk about spiritual revolution. That's revolutionary optimism. So where are we shaping? How are we tending to our personal shadows? How are we tending to our family shadows? How are we tending to our community shadows? And not facing them, not confronting them with the sword, but tending to them, giving them that cup of tea, that release, you know. Sorry, you got me hyped up.
No, don't be sorry. No, this is what it's about. This is what
you said about. Something and I just
went. Yeah, that optimism. And hi, Seren. It's so cool that you found me on Odyssey. Odyssey is a app that I connect my to, and yeah, it's really cool. You guys should check it out. There's a lot of cool creators on there. But Sereni said, how is it positive when the world is so dark? I think that the world is perfectly balanced, and is heading into a direction of harmony that is going to be one of, yes, what we co-create, but one that I really pray is coming back to a balance energetically with the earth. I think it's a lot of it is the earth's process, and the energy or the karma, whatever you want to call it, that is still being passed down through generations. The same hatred, the same beliefs, the things that people are growing up in still to this day, the things in certain places of the world where it's like we don't necessarily have those beliefs, but somehow we're able to see it through these black mirrors. And
I see what you did.
Yeah. It's all, everything is intentional, y'all. The words, the creation. So I don't know if it's about positive or negative. Once again, that's like, you can't have one without the other. And I think that, Lexi, I think you described it very well. This sense of optimism, of recognizing how you personally and within community and the people that you touch, the people that you connect to, your family, how that can actually change waves.
It's everything, though.
The children. The children. So what are we feeding the children? That the world sucks. Everything's horrible. It used to be like this back in my day. All of these things. It's like, no, what are we creating? What are we creating moving forward? And I feel like this gets to be the focus, rather than, yes, be present with what's happening, but like choose wisely in which how you are letting yourself co-create with it. Not ignoring things.
No, and that's
not ignoring. Right. You're not hiding.
No. And I just thank you for your share and for what you were saying about the balance, because that's something I know that I've struggled with so much, because when I hear that question of like, how do you stay so positive? I don't personally, like, I don't. I allow myself to feel anger at the systems. I let myself feel the grief of my ancestors that it feels it has taken so long. I let that human part of me feel sometimes a sense of negativity or like anger or frustration, because I am aware and I witness the dark, and with that comes responsibility. With that comes a sense of weight. And so it's not the world. There is darkness, there is light, there is every shade in between. And when we are aware and we don't turn away from it, like the systems want us to, they want us to turn away. They want us to focus on just ourselves and our money and our growth. But when we say no, I will see the dark. I'm going to see the dark. I'm going to witness the dark. And I'm going to, if that's at least the one thing I can do, is not turn away or pretend it's not happening or pretend it doesn't touch me. Because we are all interconnected, and a pain in one part of our planet, a pain in the ocean, a pain in the Amazon, a pain in another land is our pain too. Especially when it is imbalanced, when the pain is imbalanced, when there's vengeance, when there's extraction. So that is at least my answer, is that I am not always so positive. I have struggled with depression. I have struggled with suicidal ideation. And I have to lean on my community and on nature to support me, because I used to try to do it alone, and Ari can probably attest to this. I will hide away and hermit away when I'm not positive, because I don't want people to see me not be positive, right?
Exactly. How could they?
But like, where does that come from? You know, feeling hurt and broken, like, but that's so human to feel those things, to feel confused, and you know. And I think to care, to have empathy, to witness the dark and feel the mistakes humans have made as a species, to feel it, that's a part of the transmutation, you know?
And I feel.
Oh,
yeah. Perspectives. These are all perspectives. I think that everyone has their path. And some people, it seems like they don't care. It seems like they're unable to move past certain barriers. And for some people, like, they have been so, I guess, like, repetitively in this state of being, of comfort, that they will defend. They will let the ego part of them, the shadow part of them that like wants to defend it. Just like you were saying earlier, Lexi, about that part of you that's like, no, the blood is disgusting and all of these things. And like, that's what's happening there with all of these things coming up, and seeing like people not caring, or people like caring so much and wondering why they care so much. Like,
I'm listening. I'm just moving because the mosquitoes are hitting me.
No, take your time. Do your thing.
Please continue.
We can still hear you. But yeah, definitely, I feel that it is defense. It is defense. And no, it is not our job to make someone go in any specific direction, but we get to remember that each one of us holds a spark. We get to remember that each one of us holds that flame that we get to light within others. And we do not always get to choose. We don't get to choose how it lights the other, how it impacts someone. And that's why being able to do this work for ourselves, no matter where we go, we have that sense of embodiment to move forward in what we are experiencing and what we are choosing to co-create moving forward. Peter says, expectations and ideals in polarity makes the reality, can make the reality make someone's path a bit darker for sometimes. Yeah, so expectations and ideals are a big aspect of that. I believe that, because we want certain things to happen. When they don't, we have specific programming that comes into place, where basically I like to think of it as like file cabinets. We've got, all of these beliefs, and each of them have a file cabinet, and we get to kind of like place in there through our experiences what is true. So what your energy is going to, what you're feeding, what you're continuing to give life to, and perhaps experience, yes, that file cabinet's going to be a bit larger and heavier than others. So yeah, I feel like expectations, being very like stickler and strict on specific beliefs, can be, it makes us a bit more less open to seeing things in a different way, to having different perspectives. And yes, while this is a very personal journey, we don't necessarily have to do that alone. And I feel like there has been a lot of isolation, especially with technology now and the way that people are living and experiencing life. It's very much about the self. It's very, very much about the self. But let me see.
Hi.
Hi, Kim. Hello.
Got out of the mosquito buffet zone.
Oh. How old am I then? Okay. So I'm how old is my soul or me? I'm 28. I'm 28. My soul's been around though. I'm grandma.
Been around.
What do you know? And I feel like in this, I had an Akashic reading not that long ago.
Really?
Maybe a couple years ago. Yeah. A friend of mine, she was like, hey, like, let's do it. I know you haven't done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's awesome.
Like one of the messages.
You mentioned this. This was a couple years ago.
It was a little while ago.
It was a while ago. This is like early 2020s.
Yeah. But she was saying that like a big, like a keyword in my life and what I get to experience like as a soul in this particular life was like joy. So I'm like, all right, if that's true, then like I feel I'm really meant to like share that with others. But then when I received that information, the shadow aspect of that was, feeling like when I didn't experience it, that I was doing something wrong. I always took responsibility for everything until I felt like I was being attacked, obviously. But like, I always took responsibility and I was like, oh, I'm experiencing suffering. I made the wrong decision.
I'm on a line.
Or like, I need to change my thoughts. I need to change, like, in this situation. Like, I wanted that level of control. Peter says I'm younger than the pyramids. Oh my gosh.
I'm younger than the pyramids. I like that.
I'm like, how should I take that? You're like, my age? Well, I'm younger than the pyramids. You can decide that upon yourself. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What was I saying?
Joy. And when you weren't experiencing joy, if you were experiencing suffering, you started taking it as an indication that you were
that I was doing something wrong. Yes, that I was wrong.
Which is kind of because the pendulum had to swing. You had to experience kind of this extreme in a way, because I find that we explore ourselves often without realizing it through extremes. Like, okay, well now I need to go to this side of the spectrum, and any suffering at all that I'm experiencing, I made an unaligned decision, right? I must have, if it feels uncomfortable, I've done something wrong against my soul path.
Yeah. And that's like, I think once that's like also very tied to that programming of avoiding the darkness and what medicine is actually there, the wisdom that comes from that space. Because there is, to think that, and I feel like in the spiritual space, a lot of us feel like, okay, if we're not feeling good, then we're not being who we're meant to be in this life. But that's not owning up to like the full spectrum of the human experience of experiencing life in a in a polar, energetic, vibrational universe, whatever you want to call it. Like, there is a lot that we're flowing through. There's a lot at work that, may not be fully explainable or understood on a mental level, but energetically we feel what's happening, right? We can sense it in some way or other. We don't even need to fully bring words to it. So I feel like that was I feel like that was like a big part of that program, of being like, okay, I got to take control, because it's not safe for me to not be me or authentic or joyful, or, you know, it was difficult for me to show up. I like stopped doing a lot of videos. And you guys may have noticed there was like a time where I was like, y'all, I need to take a break. And it was like, it was because I was really like, and this wasn't the same instance as like when I was receiving that message, but I did notice that that instance of receiving that, it felt good, but I was also going through a hard time. And I feel like it added to that file cabinet of, I guess, that belief of that I needed to show up in a certain way, or else I needed to hide myself. And that's not acceptance. That's not full living, that's not living. That's not anchoring in a supportive, connective community space for myself or for anyone around me, because, oh, if she's always perfect, she's always positive, like, then I have to be. And it's like, yes. Well, that doesn't mean you have to like share your struggles either, but like recognize like it's not a bad thing. You can be in alignment and be struggling at the same time.
Oh yes,
like it's not
again nature. Look at nature.
Yeah,
like she is our greatest teacher. She is our home. That is
our
home.
The focus just shifts. In a tree, like, the focus shifts.
Sometimes one of your little leaves gets a little wilted. Sometimes you get a little root rot. It doesn't mean the whole thing. It's you find out where it is and where it goes, and maybe, is this tendable? Is this something I need to release? Just as we cultivate a garden and we cultivate that plant and we steward land, that is how we have to steward ourselves. And I find that also, I am a big advocate so deeply, so much, so often for, I know it's that buzzword, community, but really like community.
But actually, like, what does that get to be? We get to define these things, and it's like when there's a collapse, when there's a presence of darkness, like we get to choose how we light the way. So
I want to turn on. We get to choose how we light the way. We get to choose how we light the way. And that's so interesting that you brought up what you said about your experience around joy. And that's why I had the Muppet face. Because that has come up for me
time
again in my work with plant medicine, in my work with breath work, and my work with all of my own practices. That has come up time and time again, is you're here to experience and anchor in play and joy. And for my experience, it wasn't so much that when I'm experiencing suffering and discomfort, then I misaligned. It was, well, no, I just rejected it entirely. Like, that cannot even be what I'm here for, joy in, because I identified with suffering for a lot of my adult life. Suffering is my comfort. To suffer and to struggle became a part of my my experience in this life. Whether it was financially, whether it was emotionally or mentally. And to be told or to feel this truth of this is not all that you're here to experience has challenged me in very, very intense ways. Especially, for me, I'm really involved when it comes to social movements and wanting to stand up for our fellow people and making, finding ways that people can have access to healthcare and people having access to food and shelter. Things I believe.
I'll be right back. I'm giving you the speech. I'll be right back. Everyone, be nice to her.
Oh my goodness, I have been given the reins. Here's my laundry that I was folding before I already got here. Where was I? Yeah, my experience was distinctly different than Ari's, which is so interesting. Every time she and I get into our, we will talk on the phone for hours when we connect with each other, because we're so close in age, and we're also so close as sisters. And she's a year and a day younger than me, and we watched each other grow up. We watched each other go through the same home environment, in the same school, in the same community, from two completely different perspectives. And then I left home at 18 years old and left California at 18 years old and carried a lot of worry and shame about not being present as a sister and not, really being able to be present as a big sister figure, and moved to New York City and experienced a lot of pain and trauma. I experienced navigating the homeless shelter system, and also just seeing from the inside with life experience the way that our systems treat people who are deemed disposable. And I became very consumed with just the shadow aspect for a long time. That was very important to me, to explore this collective shadow of how we treat those that we can walk by on the street and see as disposable. And so then to have this journey recently where this truth, this authenticity is coming forth, where I'm here to create spaces of play and imagination and through shadow. I was like, what? And I'm always interested as where these two things can meet. How can we stand up for our fellow humans and also anchor in joy to things that often feel so opposed to each other? And I think a lot of the work that Ari did, oh, you're back. Hi. Hi. A lot of the work that Ari does has inspired me so much through my own journey, and I love you so much. I love you so much. I'm so proud of the things that we've worked on together and the ways that we meeting each other in our own journeys. I hope you know how grateful I am for your trust in me and your presence in this world, and your light, and all of the other things too, not just your light, but your shadow too. Your shadow is also inspiring.
Big hugs. The birds and we fly away.
And that helps.
Okay. So Lexi.
Yeah.
For the rest of this break, I want you to just lay back and just think of whatever the first thing is that you want to release.
Ooh, the first thing. The first thing.
First thing. That's going to be talk. That's the power of presence. So just close your eyes and we'll just breathe. And may your bleed, your womb, assist you in this process. Fully relaxed and open, melting home to the earth, home to the source of light within you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to your soul, your spirit, to your human, to all of your connections, your presence, your wisdom, your body, your womb. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for giving, for embracing, and continuing to devote yourself to embracing all parts of you and remind others to do the same. Thank you, thank you. Okay, hair check.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I was waiting for it. I knew if I put it.
That's quite a bit. Yo!
Is that the back half?
Almost. That's like almost half my head, right?
Ooh. Oh, silky. Silky.
I'm like, do I want to wash it? I will. I feel like beachy baby. I don't know.
It is definitely beachy. Beautiful.
Wow. This is so fun. Thank you so much, Lexi. I love you so dearly. I'm so excited. Just so you guys know, like the links and stuff that like we're sharing on the screen and stuff, all that's in the description box below. So if you want to join us, it's gonna be cozy. We're gonna be discussing and coaching and receiving, and I'm gonna be sending you guys the herbs that we're working with, and little like cards of kind of like what they mean, and you get to really make this an intuitive, loving process, feeling fully supported in it, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm really excited, and it's meant the way that it's formatted is it's meant to assist those that feel like they're too busy or it's not the right time. Like this is actually a process that we're always doing, so this is really a supportive space to bring that not just to the forefront, but like to allow your life to be of integration and be of embodiment. So this is really that supportive space to like take some tools and move forward in your life, receiving and moving with what resonates with you and having something to lean on in that process. So it really serves you, and not just finding the root, the shadow, or finding the root and all of these things. Like you won't need to do that. It's whatever is present and available for you right now and what you're flowing through in your life. Like this is what we're working with. And you get to relate that and with others, and what they're working with may assist us in meeting that shadow within us, and it amplifies the healing energy and the process. It really does advance the process. So, oh my God. Link below. We're excited to be holding this space. And
can I say something really shortly?
Yes, please.
I also feel it's so important. This is something that Ari and I have spoken about too, is that though she's a facilitator and I'm going to be supporting, it's really calling in this energy of decentralizing our wisdom. So we are here, Ari's here as your facilitator, I'm here as your support guide to be just that support. Your wisdom is, we can help guide and support, but at the end of the day, we are not gurus. We don't need any more gurus in this world. We need everyone to feel ready to meet each other. This is about the community wisdom, the wisdom that we just guide you to yourself. Because we don't hold it. We're not a special box that you get a special key and then you get to unlock this wisdom through this. Like if you feel drawn to what we emanate, and that we might be those guides to the journey back home to yourself, that's what we're doing.
Yes, and we're calling in 9 souls. 9 beings, 9 individuals into this space. We just had like 9 of us a second ago. Which was really cool. I had to
Wow.
but thank you. Send a lot of love to Lexi. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your essence and your gifts and your wisdom and your love during this very beautiful inner winter that you're experiencing right now. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much.
You're making me cry. I'm gonna go eat some soup and go sleep again.
Exactly.
I'm so happy that I didn't end up having work today to jump on here with
I know.
you.
Wow.
The timing.
Of course. Of course. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I just been feeling all these little gestures today.
It's alchemy. Naturally. Well, I'll talk to you later. But yeah, and if you have like links or anything that you want to share, you can pop them in the chat, and then I'll put them in the description a bit later.
Oh,
yeah. So take your time doing that, and then you can put them in there or send them to me later.
I'll do that.
Nice. So people can like follow you, get to know you, be in your essence, your gifts.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye. Yay! That was so fun. That was so nice. I haven't talked to her like on the phone in a little bit either, so Egyptian dance alchemy or alchemy dance, right? Yeah. Dance is alchemy. You can transform energy through dance for sure. How are you guys doing? Who's here? How are you doing? Share in the chat. Check in. Bring some water. I'm gonna take like a little, just like little stretches. I feel really good. I feel very, very good. I know the top, once we start getting it, I'm gonna be very mindful of my back. But we're almost halfway. We're almost halfway here, which is very exciting. And I believe my brother is here, so I'm gonna let him know he can come on in. It's gonna help me unbraid a few things. A few braids. And we're also gonna have a little chat. But how are you doing? How are you feeling? It's coming up. I have this list of beliefs that came up, thoughts that were coming up when I had a panic attack once, and it revealed some like core beliefs, like foundational things that I feel I've been holding on to and not necessarily fully seeing. I feel like I was like going through layers and layers and layers of it, and it was my guides that suggested to grab my journal and my pen when I was going through that experience and really write down what was here. And I've read these aloud a couple times, and it's like, no, that's not true. Of course not. It like makes people so sad to hear that this is what I think about myself. But I'm like, well, I don't believe this about myself, but there's obviously an aspect of myself that is still holding on to this for sure. So yeah, those are kind of the beliefs that I'm working with. And I'll just mention them here. So a belief that I can never do enough, that I'm always needing to produce more. Another one is that there is a lack of safety in the love that is around me, which is very interesting. To see that arise within me is like seeing like the love around me isn't fully pure, so therefore it's unsafe. And that's something that I don't believe, and yet that is like a shadow aspect of myself that truly believes like when I'm in survival state that this is true. that it's not a safe place to be. I can't fully trust. So if anyone's ever experienced like not being able to fully trust people, this is kind of like that. The other one is I need to take care of everyone else so that I can do what I need to do or want to do. Feeling like everyone else is gonna be good before I can take care of myself. It's very much that like that more, what is the word? Something about the feminine and how, I guess, disempowered or disconnected. This is an aspect of nurturing, but like to what extent? And I feel like it has not fully served me. So this is something that I'm releasing. For sure. Let's see, what else do I want to share with you guys? Other ones is like being a failure, feeling like I'm stupid or uneducated, that I'm naive, things like that. That I'm like only here for others and not here for myself or my own experience. I know this is something that a lot of people can feel and have as well, that like that's where the value is. It's like, yes, there's so much value there. And there's also a deep value in your perspective that only you can see through your own eyes, physically and metaphorically. Yeah, a lot of it is like about worthiness and the ability to like be an individual. And I'm ready to release these. I've been ready. And at some point I thought that I had released all of these, and seeing them arise once again just shows that like, oh, these are things that a part of me believes about myself. This is exactly what comes up in those moments when I am having really intense anxiety. The anxiety that comes up, usually I can regulate pretty well, but if I feel like my body and everything is like turned on, triggered, activated into the survival state, I shut down, and then the thoughts start running to try and make me believe these very specific things, to kind of remind me that, so that I can stay in that shutdown space where I don't speak, where I don't take action, where I'm very submissive and just trying to get by. And that's not how I want to show up or hold myself moving forward. So instead of seeing myself as like, okay, instead of, I guess what I'm trying to say is, instead of keeping that form and way of doing things, I want to kind of change that process. So, yeah, I'm excited. I know that I'm in the process of doing that right now. Hi, love. I'll make some food for you. And then I'll read your comment. Got a hairball. I got water. My journal. But Lexi said, yes, my anxiety and panic is often stemming from generational fears and shadows or general distrust of those I love around me. Yeah. And sometimes with these things, people like really want to get to the root. Some of the roots are very easy to find and see, and others are like more ancestral. We don't exactly know, like, where does this stem from? And that's not necessarily what we need to do. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Introducing Llyod, my partner.
Well,
Okay. You can speak this a little bit. Welcome. Everybody give a welcome. It's Dylan.
hello, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yay. Yeah. Here, let me put this over here. This is my hairball. I was just talking about, probably heard some of it. Oh yeah, the arrow. The arrow. There it is. Can you tell us about the arrow?
Well, the arrow is inspired by a cartoon, the Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I recently had some long hair and shaved it off. And I think during that time, people, or my partner, said, "Hey, we should be the Avatar and Katara for Halloween." And so I was like, "Okay." And then rather than getting the tattoo or drawing, I just cut the hair arrow for my Halloween celebration.
We just did that yesterday, the day before yesterday.
Today.
Saturday. We just did that Saturday. Airbender energy. Yes. Yeah, we were just talking about like the things that come up with an anxiety, and I was just sharing like those specific beliefs I'm really releasing those with the braids.
Yeah.
Or all of them, why not all? But just really being very intentional with releasing those beliefs that don't resonate.
Yeah.
That I don't want to hold on to, that I'm ready to really lay to rest.
Wonderful. And I heard you out loud saying a few of them in the beginning of the video, and I'm wondering, as you were unbraiding and communicating with your sister, were you like internalizing them? Were you just letting maybe the more intentional beliefs kind of off to the side so you could engage in the chat and conversation? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, while I was doing it, I've had these things in mind already that I'm ready to release, and I'm really open to what gets to be released. So I feel like, especially in the beginning, being present with like the energy of what is coming up and what I'm feeling, and then being able to braid it, I could feel that energy being, I guess, becoming a lot more light within myself. Just feeling a lot more light, less heaviness, feeling like the energy shifting in like certain parts of my body. And so yeah, I may have not been like thinking exact words of like, I'm releasing this and this, but I was also like, based on what we were talking about, releasing that. Releasing kind of what was coming up and the energy that comes up of what we were talking about with the shadow, and you know, our wounds around community, and yeah, our thoughts about our blood as women and our womb and our connection to it and things like that. So I was really intentionally allowing the conversation to also be a space for release for not just myself, but collectively as well. And just hoping that unweaving now, like I'm able to run my hands through my hair, like the energy is there. There's flow. There's flow.
I used to be able to
do that. You
One
can
day.
have mine.
No, you got it. And so you're talking about heaviness as like kind of a key factor in maybe what you're trying to release. Do you feel that that's always the case, or are there some heavinesses that you enjoy in your life?
Let's see. Let me start a braid.
I mean, like heaviness is like, it can be like very grounding at times, or you know, it can really help in keeping things where they're at, balance.
Like groundedness, almost.
Or even like a sense
like
of balance.
A sense of balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, like a lot of times, like maybe the heaviness causes like pressures, and so it's like an unwelcome sense of like
Pressure's a good word. Pressure is a great word. I would feel like, for me, it feels, for me, a lot of the anxiety or the things that don't really feel aligned within me, they feel like little earthquakes inside me. So it's very shaky, very like nervous energy, very unstable. So, and sometimes that does feel like a heaviness because I feel the need to hold it. And I think that I hold a lot more than I'm fully aware of. And I think that we all do.
Yeah, hopefully for always too. Because if not, then there's no more experience.
Yeah, exactly. I think that our awareness
There's
goes
always
so
the
far.
unknown.
Yes, definitely.
And may we seek it.
And may we seek it, and may we recognize that there can be a sense of, you know, excitement in that process. I think that's something I really am excited to share with people within this course coming up, is just in life, is that it gets to be a bit fascinating to like see these parts of you, because if we start to over-identify and label things, we start to create boundaries around it and limits to our experience of them. So being able to shift a bit of that perspective really helped me in seeing myself differently and shifting the way like I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking about any anxiety that came up or judgments that I was feeling from others or judgments I had over myself. I was really able to see that as an opportunity for me to anchor in more love rather than anchor in more, oh my gosh, of course there's another thing, or, you know, like this is just my life. I started to, and I think I started to see this when I started to see what people would call results, you know, when you start to see the fruits of your labor, of your practice. And this is why devotion and just the ability to experience some level of presence, even if it's just for like a moment in your day, putting your hand, like for me, it was doing just this and taking a breath. Like that was really powerful for me because I wanted to feel like this physical holding and connect with myself rather than outwardly putting that energy so that I could create who I was, you know, and who I needed to be for like my family or school or my friends or work or any situation it needed to be in. So it felt, and I think yoga, the practice of yoga and meditation really helped me see that in a fun way. And also I've been pretty creative and imaginative. I used to daydream a lot. I think that helps. I think utilizing our imagination really helps in that process, and meditation and visualization could really be helpful with that. But then if we start questioning it, it's like, well, this is your reality. Like your mind is creating all of it. If you tell yourself something terrible over and over again and start to believe it and start to actually feel the emotion, now you've conjured the emotion, now the body's taking on the experience, like that's going to be a pretty, there's going to be suffering and pain in that experience rather than really, I guess, utilizing that sense of co-creation in imagination or whatever you want to call it, visualization in a different way, tell a new story.
Rewrite
it.
So, thank you so much. That was a lot, and
I know.
I'm like trying to. I had a question from like the first few
like,
sentences you said, so I've been holding this one for like 5-6 minutes. Let's see. You were talking about anxiety also being unnerving, and I'm wondering if you have the sensitivity or ability to understand the difference between so-called heaviness and the anxiety. Are they one and the same? Is there a sense of difference?
I think it's different for everyone. I don't think that heaviness for me is just one thing. I don't think shakiness is just one thing because it comes from different things. So for me to say that the heaviness is associated with this or that doesn't really honor the heaviness and how it shows up and what it teaches me. So, and same with the shakiness and the anxiety as well. But yeah, I'm like,
so there is difference to you.
There is difference. I think there is difference, definitely.
Then you were saying that the daydreams were something that used to happen, and I'm wondering, is there any belief that we maybe can unbraid now to kind of bring those back into your experience or day-to-day life?
I feel like daydreams, like they help me more easily create that story. I think like I truly believe that my experiences in childhood and as a teenager really helped me become who I am today. And this is based off our choices, right? You know, and what we choose to hold on to, and what the wisdom that we get from these experiences. And so I feel like that daydreaming was just kind of a part, like a stepping stone. I don't think it's something that I necessarily want to bring back, because I think that it was a stepping stone into recognizing the power of my imagination and the power as a co-creator. Because when I was daydreaming a lot, it didn't feel healthy to me because I was creating stories and expectations of like actual situations that I wanted to happen in my life. So I had a lot of attachment. I was disappointed more times than not because because obviously, like, these did not come true because I was expecting them to. I was expecting it to happen without taking any action. So I was just assuming that, like, oh, something incredible is gonna happen, like wonderful, like it can, but I was adding. Hi, Esther.
You want to hop on with Esther while she's doing this?
Yeah, in a little bit.
Oh,
Esther,
okay.
let me know, like, if and when you're ready. You let me know how you're feeling. Let's see what Lexi said. Okay. Great question. Sometimes anxiety springs from the heaviness. Interesting. Or even like when you're feeling heavy, I used to get anxious about like having heaviness. I used to be like, I don't want to be heavy. I want to be light. Like, how do I do this? So your daydreams were more predictive and not really creative, is what you're saying. Yeah, they were creative. And I think it led me to like writing fiction and things like that really allowed me to see that this was a gift, not necessarily something that just brought me disappointment, because that's what it did when I was younger. It brought me a lot of disappointment. I was adding disappointment to this large file cabinet of, you will be disappointed if you think you want something to happen a certain way. If you have expectations, they're never going to be met. So that was like kind of a part of myself that I really needed to meet and redefine. But I think it did kind of heal that part of like imagination and things like that. So it's not necessarily something that I want to do again, but I thank you for bringing it up, because it's just this awareness of seeing like the beauty in that process and what I've learned since then.
Yeah, of course.
So wait, okay. So Esther, you text me or type in the chat whenever you feel ready. But Dylan,
Yeah,
do you want to share more about how you're feeling right now and kind of
I get
a bit
nervous.
about you?
Even though there's not actually people here, my mind perceives that like there must be people. There's the chat, there's the icons, the representations, there's numbers representing maybe people in the world, and so that's enough even for me to just be like, can I go side stage, backstage? Can I just like help in like water or cleaning or something? I get very nervous in the social settings and talking, so I think that's a lot of what I'm feeling. I got clammy hands. I'm like constantly thinking of my rate of speech and trying to coach myself to like calm down, talk in a way that's clear and concise and presentable for your creation. You know, and then like subtle things like hunger, the need to do and complete like things I feel obligated to for survival or future experience. It's always kind of in the forefront of my thinking process.
Yeah.
But also, many things. I mean, I could just rant and steam all over the place because I'm happy to be here with you and, really excited. And so, yeah, I'm a human. And I am a complex combination of many components and connections that can all be accessed in very unique ways in any given moment.
You are so loved. Everyone sends love to Dylan.
Make the anxiety worse.
Really
more?
Okay.
I did have a question about the hair though. When you were braiding it, did you see any intentions, or is there a duality to this where like you feel you can kind of lock things in? Maybe like the hair can be more of like an energy channel or something, and as you kind of weave the strands, you're able to kind of really, it's like a basket, the pieces of grass no longer are just flying around. They're centrally located, and now you can fill it with things.
Yeah, this time when I was braiding, I wanted to give my hair some love. So I created like a rinse for myself. I did the oils, which I mentioned at the beginning, like doing oil treatments and washing it and things like that. So this was more so for the benefit of my hair and its health. So I feel like, and there wasn't necessarily any intention going into that. I think the first time that I did braid my hair, I had a bit more intention, but it really felt just energetically led. It wasn't words, you know, I could just feel that it was like this was a process of me kind of like coming home to myself or bringing parts of myself back with the weaving, with the braiding, which was really beautiful. And this past time, it was more for, you know, caring for my hair that's been really needing it. And so I feel as I'm unbraiding right now, I can like really receive such like feel it. It's so soft and just like
peer pressure. Peer pressure. Don't
you
if you don't want to do something, remember no means no, but you got it. It does. It feels really
it's
nice.
very healthy. Yeah. And I mean obviously
it reminds
I get
me
to
of like horsehair.
A little bit. I love horse.
Like a nice it's like a mane like for me when my
Very,
hair is long, each strand is almost like separated.
Separate,
And your hair really feels like curly and kind of
very
like,
full. Yeah, it's got like a fullness to it. But it feels really healthy. And this was my intention for it. So in the process of unbraiding, it's like coming back to a sense of alignment in my hair.
It's more silky than it looks.
It is.
It looks kind of like frizzy and like there's like
but
little
very,
parts, but
it's very
like
silky soft.
Soft and smooth and it appears.
Like this isn't crackling, okay? It's not crackling. Okay, let me get this so we can hear better.
Apologies.
How is the sound? Can you hear Dylan? Can you hear Dylan? Okay. Thank you for being here.
Yes, of course.
And I am
Thanks
gonna
for
have
having
you.
me.
I'm gonna have you do a few braids.
All right.
But I'm gonna first. I would love to. With the rest of this braid, you don't have to be on camera to receive this. But I would like you to just like sit back, breathe in whatever way that you want, and just. We love you, Dylan. And just receive. And then we'll order food. But yeah, first thing that comes into your head that you want to release. And just breathe, relax, and you don't even have to share it out loud.
Anxiety.
Okay, we're releasing anxiety with the rest of this braid. So just relaxing, breathing. And what we'll do with these next few breaths, we'll just hum. So we're going to take 3 breaths inhaling in through the nose, and then we're going to hum. Just feeling the vibration and receiving that. Okay. Breathing in. Softening the belly. And I send so much love to you, Dylan, and your body, and your mind, and your heart. Thank you so much for showing up on camera with me. It's so special. I appreciate you so dearly. Love. Alrighties. So I'm gonna get hopping on the hair. If you hear whining, it's Ty. Ty, come here. We got the dogs in here. The doggies. How are we doing, everyone? How are we feeling? How you doing? What you up to? We're gonna actually order some food. So if you guys haven't drank water, hydrated, now's the time. Take a little stretch. Let's see. What do we want to eat? We're ordering though?
Yeah, we'll order it off my phone.
Off your phone? Okay.
Tell me whatever sounds good.
Yeah.
It will be on the way.
Well, there is Old Market Grill.
You got it.
They deliver over here. That sounds yummy. Or the Urbane Cafe.
Okay, time to make a choice. Urbane or Old Market Grill?
Old Market Grill.
You got it.
Nuggets. I'll get a market salad but add avocado.
All right.
Then would you share a side with me?
Sure.
Let's see what size they have. The humming was a lovely breath. Thank you. Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Where are their sides? They have the fries are really yummy.
French fries?
Let me see what
Feta
else.
fries?
So they have two different fries. They have feta fries, and then they have home fries. I would do either. I've tried them both. So the feta fries has the sauce already on it. The home fries doesn't. What sounds better to you? Do you want like saucy fries? They're like a little lemony. They're very lemony.
Maybe not that.
Okay.
Because of your citrus allergy.
Well, it doesn't bother my tongue.
Alright, I've never tried either, so it would make to me much more sense if you made the decision since you've tried both.
Let's do the feta fries. I'd like you to try them. They were very yummy. I've gotten them a couple times. They're very warm. They still got a little bit of a crisp, but just itty bitty. And the sauce is really yummy.
Alright.
So that's what I like. It's like a lemon. It says lemon mustard sauce and Greek oregano.
And then the
Feta
first item
cheese.
was?
A market salad, but add avocado.
Add avocado.
Alrighty, so let's get back to these braids. And then I will tune in. Let's see if Esther is available. We'll probably be on for another half hour. I'm gonna get rocking on these. Hi, come here. Say hi. It's time. Hi. Make sure my mic is good. So he has this on because he's been scratching his ear. I want him to stop scratching it for a bit so that it can feel fully rotation. Come on, Terry. Alright, here we go. Let us see, let us see. Alrighties, and if there are any questions, that's also wonderful. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna send the link to Esther.
The address is 2281.
Let me just make sure. So Esther, if you're on live, I'm emailing you the link right as we speak. Here we go. All right, y'all. I'm excited. If you've been around on my channel, you've probably seen Esther before. We've gone live a few times over the past few years. And we've been holding space for activating and connecting with one another and supporting each other with the gift of light language, our soul's expression, a form of our soul's expression. So that comes in many forms. So I'm excited to chat with her. We are in the middle of we're starting to begin the heart chakra. Within our light resonance portal. This is a portal this would be the third time that we've done it, and every single time it is a deepening. We gain more wisdom and we share different things about each of the chakras and their relationship with light language. So this page that I'm sharing with you right here is our Notion page. This is where we have everything light language that we've done together. So we have our newsletter, we have all of our offerings. We're offering each of the modules. The modules are each going to be a specific chakra. So let's say, for example, the root, sacral, solar plexus. If you would like to dive in on whatever resonates with you, we have a support group, some free things, a lot of things. It's exciting. And we're very happy to have a home base for everything that we have been compiling and bringing together, a lot of information about light language. Esther and I love just like seeing the connections between light language and many other things. And it's something that we're always continuing to explore and dive into. So it's super, super fun. Lexi said, oh yes, heart chakra. I still have a lovely energy painting from Esther years ago. Such a light worker. Yes. So beautiful. Yeah, I do too. So thankful for you, sis. So thankful. Alrighty, let us see. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to chat with her about whatever arises and comes up. I feel like with this braid, it's releasing resistance. Releasing resistance. Just gonna really soak this one in. We haven't. Oh, that one felt really good. This braid. Thank you all. I feel like this part of my hair as well, I love moving it around. I'm so used to shifting it either up or down or side. It's like a focus point in styling my hair. And this is a practice that can be done in many different ways. You don't have to necessarily utilize your hair. This is just something I felt really called to do, to be more intentional with the process. And it feels very supportive. It feels very supportive. There's a lot more ease. I really don't feel tension in my body. And I remember last time when I unbraided my hair, I felt a lot of tension. It was just, so I was trying to get it done. And I was trying to move on. And so now with that intentionality, the sense of presence, it feels more filled with ease. Definitely filled with ease. All right, other side. Balance it out. Balance it out. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do this one. Little one. Alrighty, let's see. Go. We're gonna have Esther in here now. Welcome her in. Hello, hello.
Dude, in the spirit of taking out your hair, as you can see, I need to wash mine. So I was like, let's go. This will be perfect.
Yeah. I'm so thankful. Yay. Thank you for being here and your flexibility and the timing today and all of your hard work and devotion.
It's been like water just flowing. This is supposed to be like the monthly reset. You know, that inner child has really been having a firm grasp as of the past few months. And I'm like, kind of starting like, okay, prying their fingers isn't the right way to say it. But I've been slowly like, hey, little Esther, maybe watching 15 cooking videos isn't necessary because that was like a whole hour. But yeah, we're having fun with it. Finding the balance.
Yes, finding the balance. Yes.
Yes. How's the hair going?
It's going. It is going.
You're going through it. You're going through it.
Pretty well. Yeah, it's been 2 hours. And it feels good. It feels really good to do it in this way with like a lot more presence and intention and really being able to focus on talking about things that are really deeply related, you know, to the processes that I'm going through. And I think it really helps to process. It's a helpful way to process with friends and family.
Oh, I'm so happy. I feel like I was watching the live and I saw Dylan like looking at your hair, and I feel like he was locked in, bro. He's locked in on like. I was like, my man is locked in. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Like so much love. Oh, Alexis.
Yeah.
I just realized you guys both have names that start with A.
Yeah. Okay. So all of my siblings were all A's.
Yo, that's crazy. But that's really cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like me and my partner Erwan, we both have like E names, and we're like, obviously this is the prime opportunity. E names it is. You know.
E names it is. Elijah, Evangeline.
Right? I was thinking about Elijah.
I love those names.
Thinking like Eve. I know Evelyn is kind of like an old lady name, but like if the personality fits, Evelyn, yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what are some other E names? Come on, y'all.
Oh, man, there was like one. I think it was like, Yuaka. It's kind of African. I'm like, okay, I like that though. It's like connected to his lineage. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, names are cool. Girl, what energies have you been processing lately?
Oh, I think that it's been very introspective in the way that it hasn't really been too much of a mental process, which kind of feels like a break. Because I feel like I have been in such like a mental state of everything that's been kind of like moving through, and I feel like I've been finding a bit more centeredness and focusing more on the body and my practices, and I think that has taken me a bit out of the thoughts. So if I could put it into words, let's see, maybe it comes into light language, I don't know, but yeah, let me see. Yeah, if you have something to say, go ahead. I don't want to stop.
Girl, you said it in words already right there. My guides love how you are really flowing with the movement of doing and being in that action in space and being present in that.
That's really the word. I was thinking like acceptance, but it feels a little bit, it doesn't really fully encapsulate it, the word, for some reason for me. I hear and I'm like, yes, but also just presence. Like I feel like I'm opening myself into deeper presence, especially within my heart. I feel the softening with my heart, and I think that especially, and it's so, I mean, of course, divine alignment and all that we are working through and moving through at this time, but it really is the center space in which I'm noticing has been on more of the, I guess, deficient side, if you will. Yeah, and I was really reflecting on that when we were tuning into it. I was like, wow, that's, and I think when we think of ourselves as like, oh, spiritual beings and being in this process and everything like that, you don't want to resonate with those things, and it is humbling, and it is an opportunity once again to come into this openness of the heart and being able to give and receive. I feel it occurring, I feel it happening, and I'm really being just loving and soft and present in the process, because I'm not here to just bang open the doors. Like, yeah, there's been some cracking, there's been some breaking, there's been some shields, there's been a lot held here. So it feels like that, like I was talking to, I shared a bit of my experience with the rose and what the end of that journey really brought me to, an aspect of myself. So it really feels like that part of myself is really resting, and I don't feel as deeply charged by what I used to. And yeah, so this process feels like just very in alignment with where I am choosing to embody.
I love that. And you kind of highlighted like the emotional charge, being able to disarm that charge. It's like you're stopping the momentum of that emotion or that energy from going out of control. It's like a beautiful thing. And I'm getting ready to move to the heart, but I've really been lingering on the solar. I think there's a lot of work for me to do there's a good amount. I think it's a priority in this now moment, and it's been popping up a lot with, like you said, that emotional charge. Oh yeah, it was something. I'll share really quickly. Yesterday, I should say, in the entirety, was really interesting. Like, I was like at my sister's, I prepared breakfast. I started to, but then I started feeling like a little angry for whatever reason. Like, they're still sleeping. I'm in here preparing this food. I don't feel like valued or appreciated. And obviously this was more of my ego talking, and that was really interesting to note. I'm noting that now in perspective. I can see that obviously, but in the moment I was like, how dare them use me like some kind of maid, but in reality, it's a loving gesture to make breakfast on a Sunday morning. I think she really appreciated that. And so yeah, she woke up and she even helped, and she helped finish the breakfast, and that was really cool. And then at the end, I asked her boyfriend to clean up the dishes, and then I got ready to go to a wedding reception. I left, I came back, the dishes still were not done. Something in me felt really angry walking in the door and seeing that the dishes from breakfast were still on the table. And I kind of snapped, girl. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wash the dishes. It was like one of those moments where it's like, whoa, backing away. And of course, I don't really like the way I did it. I could have not had that outburst. I feel like that kind of takes away the credibility of hey, you said you were gonna do it and you still haven't done it, and it's been a good amount of time. I kind of am sensing that you're not prioritizing this, or are not valuing me to actually do what you said you were gonna do. So that was really interesting. All of these emotions popped up. I obviously was emotionally charged from the beginning, so it was only a matter of time. And now looking back at it today, I'm really processing. I'm like, wow, he was like, yeah, you're right, I should have, but that the way you blew up was I don't get that. So when it comes to the emotionally charged part of things, I think it's fine to feel emotions intensely. I think it's kind of like a gift, and it really does help create things that it brings clarity to them for sure. But when it comes to physically acting out on those emotional charges, that's when it can be messy. And so I think for myself, it's whoa, self-control, monitoring the emotions. What am I actually giving my energy and willing to do that maybe isn't actually helpful? And, how can I direct that energy in a new light? So yeah, girl, that has been the journey with the solar plexus. I danced this morning to assist with processing this energy and really just seeing it for what it is, inside myself. What is going on that I need to address, that my inner child is hiding because they're ashamed of it, or they need to feel like they have to protect it. And yeah, dude, the boulders. Thank you so much for holding this space, Alexis. It was intense.
Inevitable in our bonds. There is such love as we process our reactionary moments. Yeah, that reflection. And that's and I want to remind everyone that reflection and that time, even if it's in hindsight,
dark time, blessings.
So much gratitude to that part of us that is able to see in this way, and from there we get to really anchor in those actions, and I love that. I just love that share, because I feel that, and I know that that fighter in you was all right, we gotta let me just put my foot down right now.
Right.
And yeah, that's really beautiful. Yeah, and it comes up, and these are all, it's like, once again, opportunities. So it's that solar plexus opportunity of like, okay, are you willing to allow that natural flow all the way through? Yeah.
Right? And through dancing, I like realized like, hey, you know, reacting in this way is not good, right? And I was dancing and I started to uncover, wow, there's actually a lot of anger I have towards myself for even reacting in this way. You know, it's like to be like, what do you mean? Blowing up emotion, like, you know, you have anger issues, the way that you're yelling, or, you know, and so, you know, I didn't even really acknowledge that. And then this morning, just dancing, I was like, oh, wow, you know, there's a part of me that feels even angry that I am expressing this emotion in this way. And I like, that was like the boulder that I couldn't really move forward with it anymore. I couldn't like, it's no longer for me to carry. And giving that up to Source was so nice. Yeah, divine reminder, like, yeah, Source is right there, man.
It
Source
is
alchemy.
Can you describe or like share that feeling of that lifting that it felt?
Absolutely. So like, Activation Vibration actually came out with like a new album, I would say. She has like 3 new songs in it. It's Water. It's very beautiful. And I started listening to it as I started to prepare myself to dance, just like stretching. It was good for stretching. It was good for tapping in. And then I go to like, I have a dancing playlist. And I was like, it's been a good amount of time since I've opened up this playlist, but you know, I put it on shuffle and we see what pops up, right? So each song, I really see the lyrics. Like when I'm in the zone and I'm dancing to assist with the processing of the energy, it's like every song I pay attention, and sometimes I'll read the lyrics because I don't really get them when I'm like listening. I'm more focused on like the rhythm. So I'll read the lyrics and I'll be like, wow, like I am only human. I do make mistakes. You know what? But like, there's only so much. And so like, certain songs would come on and I'd be like, wow. You know, some of them I'd be like, fuck you, bitch, miss me with that bullshit, you know, like, right? And it would just be me like really kind of hyping up the energy and seeing like, yo, what recently made you feel this emotional charge, like this anger, this frustration, like what was it? And then like kind of like, you know, get that boss bitch like, oh, I'm angry, grr, energy, if that makes sense. Like, you know, we get into it, you know, you start to feel it. And then from there, it was like bringing it up to the heart to be released. It was like, yeah, again, picking up that boulder and then lifting it up and giving it to the creator. And some of those songs was like, I'm Only Human. That was one that came up. I know I mentioned it, but it was really like a moment where I was like, wow, you know, I've been putting a lot of expectations on myself, and I can kind of like let them go. And just exploring like, what was my body doing? How was it reacting to the words? And I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm kind of like, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing how I'm communicating to myself, if that makes sense. And I could see like, wow, I feel like there's a lot of anger inside of me. And like, as soon as I acknowledged it, like, boop, like it was almost like tears starting to like well up, and it's like, oh wow, like I was holding this and like it actually really hurt, and I felt like I had to hold on to it. Like, no, you can let it go. And that was just a process, you know. Once that energy was identified and I was able to see like, I can't change someone, I can't make them do things that will make me less angry. Like, I'm the one feeling the emotion. And I'm the one that's being impacted from it, you know? That's my cortisol levels. That's my blood pressure, right? You know?
Yes.
It was like, all right, cool. Once I saw what was going on, and I really felt like, wow, there's actually a lot of anger for me, even feeling angry, because I know that it can be harmful. I also know that it has a purpose, and like, honestly, it's helped me start a whole new business, which is crazy for like this feeling of like I can do this and like
Yeah, it's a powerful like
never
driving
back
force.
down, never quit kind of energy.
Yeah.
Music is such a portal. It's like every word that's coming through, it was like a conversation with spirit.
Yes.
And you know, like the guides were like, yeah, dude, take these little rocks and throw it at the big one and break it up. And you know, I was just like, wow, this is pretty cool. This was really cool. And by the end, I always feel more connected with God, source. I'm always like, wow, you know what? You right there. You watch me go through this. You watch me dance like I'm crazy. My dog also loves to like sit down and watch me, which is interesting. So
yeah, mine would too.
they're just like watching. I have my headphones in. They can't hear anything. They just see me like
just alchemy, transformation.
What, right? He's just looking at me like
so powerful. Holding the space.
Appreciate him so much.
Yeah,
that was a real revelation this morning. And I danced for about an hour, just kind of flowing with the space. And it was really fun. I'm really happy that I was able to take the time to process that and not just like acknowledge, hey, this is how it is, this is how it's going. Yeah, it was been good. Like today specifically, I'm like, this is my low energy day. Like, try not to consume too much. And to do like kind of boring things. Like dancing was definitely like the hype of the day.
Restful, easeful. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. It is so powerful when we actually welcome those emotions and that they do transform. They do, and that anger will transform into sadness sometimes, a release of some sort, and the dancing helps so much. The music helps so much, and like giving our bodies like the space, the energetic like pathways to really meet it fully. So it's so beautiful to hear. Thank you so much. Yeah, food.
Yay, good. Like this is unbraiding your hair is a labor of love. Also, it's like you do get hungry, you know. It's a lot of arm exercise. It's a whole upper body exercise.
You want to see what we're gonna eat?
Yo, mukbang, let's go.
Gosh, whoa! Some feta fries. Look at those thick cut. This is what, falafel?
I love falafel. Oh my god, this is great.
And
the joy I feel, like that is the most beautifully packed salad I have seen in a while. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, like you go and eat, nourish yourselves. This is actually like I'm so happy right now because one of my favorite things is to watch people eat.
I don't know.
I feel like that's like tell me, how does it taste? What's the texture like?
What is the texture? Tell me more.
Let me hear you chew. Like I do be getting a little. I get a little.
We love food, you know. We that comfy tourist that's out here saying yes to. I want 3 drinks with my meal. I want a juice. I want like a warm drink, warm tea, and some water.
That tea, the water, exactly.
Luxury.
Something fruity, something cozy, you know.
Have a little something, a little crunchy cold. Look at that. We got juice. Dylan's got juice. We're here. We're vibing.
Good.
Got the whole setup.
I'm so happy. Nourish yourselves. Yeah. We're moving. Your solar plexus is gonna get that treat. Nourished.
Eat in the fire. Yes. Right? My sister's a Taurus as well.
Oh my god. I love you even more now. This is like, you know, no. Honestly though, it's so beautiful. I feel like I've been learning a lot, not just about myself, but others. And right now, as we're like transitioning from the solar to the heart, I'm so ready to like take a step back. You know, this Esther ego has been really interesting in terms of like the need to do something always and not acknowledging what I'm doing. If that makes sense. I'll be like, I need to do X, Y, and Z while I'm doing something. And yeah, like the small, I think connected with the solar plexus is like valuing what you are doing, and being present with it, tapping into that heart, allowing that presence to spill over. That's what I'm most excited for as we get ready to open the heart chakra in the light resonance portal.
Yes. So something that we would love to share with you all. We know that we are the heart really is halfway through this journey. We've been within the light resonance portal. We've been journeying with a group of people for about, it's going to be 16 weeks total. We're halfway through, and what Esther and I really wanted to do was offer the energy in which these past 3 chakras has really led us to. We had some powerful realizations and just like literally
still realizing them, right?
Uprooted, but then like coming home to ourselves from a more, I don't know, like pure, it's difficult to put like an exact word, but there is a sense of
more
stability
aligned and
here.
resonant place for the soul to reside in.
So here in the offerings, we have the stability bundle, and this is what is going to be available. We have all the other chakras, but if you really want to work with those lower 3, the in-body chakras, if you're feeling like you have a lot of
energies that are not feeling stable, 100%.
Past energies, things coming up relationally, this is definitely the place to start working with that. Anything within your sense of authenticity and your sense of drive, blocks in these areas, this is really what we move through. So
100%. I think what was interesting, right, with the bottom 3 as I was dancing, the connection of, I know in the root chakra we had like a meditation that was really interesting for me personally, as I was facilitating the meditation and getting this really weird like spiritual surgery where my roots were cut off like mid meditation, and I was like, oh, what the heck is going on here? And then quite literally while I was dancing, they shared a little bit about, wow, that was a lot of anger, a lot of those roots had been there for a while, and it was from ancestors, it was from loved ones, it was from my inner child, and a lot of the anger I was holding was keeping those roots there. But that's why they were chopped off. So that was really cool. Just kind of resetting that. So the light resonance portal is a beautiful. Yeah, the Esther ego is pretty.
It's honest. Very honest.
100%.
Let me tell you how it is. Okay. The bowl comes out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But,
warrior energy.
But, you know, it's a evolving thing for sure. And like the light resonance portal, you know, I gotta shout out Mirror. I gotta shout out that this is the 3rd time that we're doing the full portal, and we've been working on the light resonance portal, cultivating the light resonance portal for 4 years, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
And
so
that
beautiful.
in itself, right? It's like one day we were just like, wow, a lot of souls keep asking about light language, and
like,
we feel like
together.
to share.
Wow.
This is definitely one of my favorite spaces to facilitate. I love working with you, Aria, and I love the souls that join the portal because they're like so insightful. They have like such unique spiritual gifts. Like you can see what energies they specialize in. Like, and And even those that, like, when they first entered, I'm thinking of, like, Hermione. She was, like, so shy at first, and she, you know, English was not her first language, but she still shared. And all through her journey of, like, clearing those doubts of light language and tapping into a more confident soul expression, it was like watching a flower bloom.
Yeah. Oh, it really was. There's been some blooms, and everyone's like deep within their process, but really, it's just so introspective, but it's also such a beautiful space to like finally let yourself be held and be seen in these places that we hide. We hide so much of our expression sometimes, and just to be able to say that this is something that we want to work on, that we want to bring into our lives, bringing up what comes up within this process of opening our sense of expression, of our soul's expression, our gifts, is such an initiation. And I feel like every single time for each being that joins, there's an initiation deeper into themselves. And it's such a beautiful process that we get to witness, that we get to be a part of. And I'm just so grateful.
That was beautifully said. Nourish yourself, girl. Yes.
I'm actually thinking I will enjoy all the food and everything offline. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Like the light resonance portal has been interesting because every time we go through it, a different set of souls, different combinations, and like we have a good skeleton, a good structure. You know, okay, we go through the chakras, we meditate, source gives us, we allow what needs to come through. And it's always like very focused on the souls there, like, you know,
yes,
you know, right? Like there's so much for each chakra. We could cover everything. Remember those 4 hour, like what, 3 hour long calls that we had?
That's what we started with.
Lecture for about 2 hours. It was dark time. That was a dark time. It was actually a really good time though. But now I feel like we now focus on what is most resonant with the souls in light resonance portal that are going to enter the portal, are in the portal, presently experiencing it. And that's been really nice. And I think it's also highlighting different aspects of our own selves. Like we resonate with them, obviously. We're going through certain things that are all connected energetically.
Yes.
And that's been really grounding.
It has. Yeah.
I'm curious, you know, we're halfway through the light resonance portal. How do you feel like it has impacted your channeling or just your everyday life?
I feel like this is the time that every time that we hold it, it opens me up a bit more to integrate it more into my life. So I feel like that's a really big impact. And it's also kind of like I was saying before, very resonant with where I'm at in life. I know that every single time we've done it, it's definitely been at a different point in our lives and our connections and our relations, and just so much has changed. And it's a beautiful integrative medicine, and it just continues to remind me that every time that we sit in a transmission, I feel myself like really sinking deeper into the medicine that is light language, that is this form of expression. I'm just, a lot of gratitude. I feel like right now there's just a lot of gratitude, a lot of trust. And I'd love to hear how's it impacted your channel?
I love that you mentioned trust, because I think that's been a topic. I've been meditating on that today, and I realized like life is pretty good. I feel content, and not for anything. There's no metric or goal that I've achieved. Anything that's like different than usual. It's just like that trust in source that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment.
Yes.
This is perfect. This is good. This is like, I'm content. I realized there was this whole, like, a lot of rewiring old beliefs. Like, I felt like I couldn't be content because that would hinder me from achieving my goals because I would be too compliant or lazy and not find it worth reaching. And that was a narrative that literally, as I was walking my dog, I was like, wow, I am content. I am at peace. The source creator put me here right now, and that's perfect. It's enough.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think.
And that's
my brother
massive to
opened
feel.
and closed.
You are all good.
All right. Okay.
We're fine. We're
Honestly,
figuring it out.
this actually does is like ask me if I was eating dinner, but I'm actually fasting. So, anyways, I think one of the other things that has changed when it comes to channeling on the same line is trusting. You know, like I've always felt weird when like source gives specific downloads mid-conversation with people and they're like saying something, I'm like, that's connected to your like your grandmother and your relationship with her and like you have something that's hers, and I'm like this is a lot of information that sounds super unhinged and I'm not sure like why do I have to say this, but
This
then it's
insight,
like again,
yeah,
that trust, like, okay, source gave me this information to pass on, and my job is to be that channel, that messenger for source. So like it may not make any sense to me and I may even judge it for a second because I'm like, this is weird, but to that person it's like, wow, thank you so much, I have a ring or something, like, you know, it's just like it makes sense to them, and I'm like, okay. Learning to trust, and then
you like soften a bit more into that trust. You're like, oh, okay. It is safe for me to trust
me
my
look like
insight.
a fool, right? You know,
Yeah.
you look crazy out here, source. Like you,
I mean, hey,
you actually, right? So that's been a big one, especially with light language, because again, you know, we have the question. People are like, how do I know I'm doing it? Like I'm just making noises and I'm not sure. And it's like that trust. It's that trust 100%. Like,
yeah,
that has faith backing it, and faith can move mountains, I believe. Like, when you trust something, you are giving it that foundation for it to be matter. Like, it matters.
And we're building it. I think that especially within this portal, it is building that trust. And it's with ourselves, and it's allowing ourselves to do that thoroughly and not just be like, no, I trust myself. Like actually do the work and what the messages and the wisdom that is available for you to come to that truth that 100% can be. So thank you so much for sharing that. Definitely resonate with that. And I'm so happy that we have this space and that we're able to share it with all of you. So if you are interested in this space, this portal that we've created, there's so much there. Everything's linked in the description box below. This Thursday we actually open up the heart, so if you're curious on receiving
join now and you'll be able to be there live, so that's pretty cool.
Definitely. So Esther, I'm going to pick a braid, and what I would love you to do is allow whatever is the first thing that you're choosing to release to come into your mind, and just breathe. And I'm just going to hold space for that, and I'm going to weave it with this braid.
Should I say it out loud?
If you want to.
Okay, girl, I was about to sit in silence with all these thoughts. But yeah, no, very clearly it came through releasing the judgment of others. I realized when I got angry, I was high court judging this person. And, you know, it was something that I was like, okay, you know what? Judging others, judging myself, there's a purpose to judgment, 100%. But the energy that I'm releasing, there's no purpose for it in my life right now. It was just making a division unnecessarily and causing me to feel angry and frustrated, or even blaming this other person when, like, it's my perspective and it's my life. So yeah, I'm finding more peace with releasing the judgment of others or self. I do realize a part of that Esther ego is it's pretty harsh on the self and judging even if I get angry. So releasing that.
And so it is.
The music changing to the
Be
vibe.
free.
Oh my god.
The time. The moment. Yes, thank you, Esther. And I honor you so deeply in your processing. I honor you in your heart, your action, your intuition. Thank you for offering this.
Thank you.
Share
Thank
some
you so
love
much.
to Esther, you guys.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for sharing your heart and your essence with us.
Nice.
And hi, Julia. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm feeling very... Yeah, I think that what I'm going to do is...
Girl, I was about to say, it's almost been 3 hours.
It has. So I think I'm going to take a little break. I'll probably do one more with y'all. And then, yeah, it'll be time to depart and move onward, continue the integration. And yeah, just thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for being here, Arya. Thank you for holding the space. It amazes me how you are able to hold spaces so gracefully. And like, it seems so effortlessly. Like right now, girl, you are unbraiding your hair and you are healing. You are healing the collective. And this is so beautiful. And yeah, I thank Source for you.
I thank Source for you. I thank Source for all of you. For my sister Lexi and for Dylan and everyone that shared here. Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you.
Oh, you know, we got
like 4 or 5 years worth of...
Oh my gosh. Actually, though, if for some that may not know, the Light Resonance Portal has its own YouTube channel. And we have started to, you know, share little sneak peeks of that. So if you are really curious about the Light Resonance Portal, you want to like learn more and just, you know, dip your toes, no commitment, you know. I mean, obviously the link below, it has everything, but it could be overwhelming. You know, also, this also has like a free Light Language 101 workshop. So
yes,
it has a lot of beautiful resources and offerings. And if you're not, you know, maybe go on the YouTube, check it out. It's pretty fun.
I'll be adding it.
Like, yay! Yeah. And we just started sharing little clips of value throughout the portal in hopes, you know, we want to share it. You know, it's good. Oh man, that's my, that's my YouTube.
Follow Esther on YouTube, on Instagram. If there's any like specific links you want to share, I'm gonna pop in the Light Resonance Portal YouTube, but feel free to search it for now if you guys want to subscribe. We haven't really been sharing it very much, and because we're starting to build the repertoire and share those tidbits and those little divine reminders and nuggets of wisdom from the course. So, and that is also going to be linked on my website, which is here as well. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, Julia, your daughter's name Aria. Well, this will be available as a replay if anyone wants to be a part of this process. Okay, hair check though. Hair check.
Ooh, he did that. Look at the texture. I love a braid out. Girl, it's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. I know how much time it takes to put in the braids and to take them out, and the care that you are putting into taking it out. Like, I've had those aunties where they're like, stand still, and like my whole head is moving. And I'm like, oh, it hurts. And they're like, you're tender-headed, you know? But yeah, this like healed a part of that inner child for sure. So thank you so much, Aria.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for mentioning that. Oh, it feels so gentle and on the scalp, and that's been like a big part of the healing as well. It's all connected. It's all related. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Esther. So much.
Thank you so much.
All right, you guys.
Check out the website. Here we go. Right. That's
I did redo my website, so all of this is actually brand new. I have all of my current services on there. It feels very aligned. So if you want to check it out and see the spaces that I'm offering, whether it's group or private, more one-on-one, I've got some self-paced things, a lot in the works as well. So, and I'm also having events coming up. So if you are in Southern California as well, they're not up here yet, but we have some events coming up. I know
you got that shadow work coming up as well.
Yes, we do. Oh. And if you just came on live now, just head into the beginning of this live and we talk a lot about it. So yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you, Esther. Have a beautiful day. I will text you. I will message you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye, love. All right, so I just want to share a thank you for all of you that have been here the entire time, and those of you that's been popping in and out for this process. I'm going to finish the rest after live and allow myself to journal and go inward a bit with the process and eat. So just thank you so much. I want to take a breath with all of you, honoring the space and what's come up for everyone here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope to see you all very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your night, your day, your rising, wherever you are in the world. Thank you. I honor you so deeply in your presence and your time and attention. Yeah.